How's it going, guys? Kevin back at you with another video. Today's video, I am super excited to announce my clipless battery bay holder for the Losi Promoto. This is super hard to get right now. I was super lucky to snag one of these. Super excited to show you guys how this setup works, how it can just help improve the quality of life for you for this awesome dirt bike. So with that, I'll show you guys how it works and how to install it. All right, so we're gonna basically show you sort of the general gist of it. So when it's actually locked like this, it's super stiff, and you actually can't really slide this open because of the tension that the battery is providing on it. So what I recommend is sort of bring your right hand in, sort of push up on that battery door, and then once you do that, it'll be able to swing open nice and easy, and you can get access to your battery. So to slide it up, you actually want to do is sort of push on the rear and sort of rotate a little bit. You can see how that popped up there. And then you just slide this in. If it only goes in partial like that, just push a little bit farther and it'll pop right up. Additionally, just sort of flexing this backwards. It's meant to be a really nice tight fit. So that way once it's in here, this thing is not going anywhere. You're gonna have a really hard time popping this out. And if I hold it here on the sides, you can see I cannot swing that open. So once I take it like this, apply just a little bit of upward pressure, swings open super nice and easy, and you can get your battery out. Now, because this does take up a little bit of space here, you can see it's actually just barely going to catch on the battery. So all you need to do is just apply a little bit of upward pressure and it'll pop right out. So this is about the biggest battery that you can fit in here. So the fact that I have clearance here means there's a really good chance that pretty much any battery you're able to fit in here shouldn't have an issue. And you just slide that back in. Make sure your balance wire is obviously off to the side. Don't want to pinch that. And again, right thumb right around the corner, bring that up. You can see I'm pinching my wire, so I'm just going to tuck that back here. And what I'm doing here is I'm just rotating this backwards, and that basically relieves the tension, allows me to slide that in, and then this thing is not going anywhere. It is super secure. So with that, let's get into how to install it. All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is actually remove this section from the rear of the motorcycle. It's the easiest thing to do. Just helps make it a lot easier to work on in the rear here. So there's two screws here that you can see here on the left and the right. So those connect to these posts here. So when I basically guide this guy back in like that, you're basically just going to flip this up, unscrew the left, unscrew the right, and then this will pull straight out. The next two screws, so you're going to remove the two completely, and you'll find two replacements in the kit that are longer. So what they're going to do is they're going to fully come through the piece here, and they're going to be the ones that are going to screw into the bottom of your part here. So this part will be originally separated, and then you're additionally going to have your M3 screw and lock nut here. So this is going to go through here, and you do not actually want to really tighten this down. The lock nut's just so this thing never comes loose. You never have to worry about it. But you don't actually want to clamp down on this, because we do still want this to spin just as freely as you see me spin this, just poking it with my finger, because that's going to make it a lot easier. And the tension and the stiffness when this is locked, and what prevents you from pulling it, is the battery pushing down against this and basically binding it up. And that's what helps it have a really good secure hold when you're out there driving your bike. So with this, just tighten it through. If this thing can spin freely and not sort of bind up on anything, chances are you've got the right amount of tension there. This should be able to swing freely, and then you're gonna take your replacements and screw these two bolts in here. Once you get to about the flush part, that's when you're gonna wanna introduce your part. So if you see how I'm putting it on, this is the wrong way to put it on, so you wanna make sure that it's flipped around in the correct orientation. So this is gonna swing open in this direction towards the rear of the bike. And so what we're gonna do here is start to tighten these guys down. And so the first time you do this, chances are the threads aren't gonna quite grab onto the plastic, and you may start lifting this part off of this. So for example, you can see here sort of this is pretty well flush because I've already threaded this one before, so I'm not having an issue. But if that starts to pop up, what you want to do is just get the thread started and then back it out until this is flush, and then hold this down as you're tightening it the second time, and that will make sure that you're tightening this flush. And so you can see how I'm just holding this down because this is essentially the second time that I've done this now. As I tighten that in, I can see the part is staying flush. And then you don't need to go crazy. These are 3D printed threads. So just nice and snug, and you can see that it's going to blow some of the plastic material out here. That's perfectly normal. If you do ever happen to strip these out, something I did do is provide clearance to fit an M3 nut in here. You will need a longer bolt if you ever did strip those threads out, but if you're gentle with it, you shouldn't have any problems with it stripping out. Now that that's bolted, the tips of the bolt there should come through. You should still be able to spin this nice and freely, and it should be pretty easy at that point. The next thing to do is to just place this back onto the rear here, find those two little screws, and just screw them back in. And once you've completed both the left and the right side, you are good to go, and you can jump back to the front of the video to watch how to use it. So with that, I really thank you guys for checking out this video. Be sure to check out some of my other products on my website. This bike is super awesome and is going to open up a lot of new things for me to work on and new projects. So I'm super excited to have this thing, and really appreciate you guys supporting me, supporting my products. So with that, I will catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.